Yo, 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 yo. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Watchlist. I'll get into some chart review and watch list in a second. I was just finishing up my review from the day. Usually just takes a few minutes for people to hop on, so I figured I'd finish it up while people filtered in. Just give me a couple minutes. You saw today a bunch of the cheapies, cheap biotechs, crispy, what's going on? A bunch of the cheap names, like the 20, 30 cent names in the biotech space, started picking up, and I made a post on Twitter not too long ago. Basically, that's usually the beginning of the end to a sector move when the junk of the junk start to pick up. So likely any biotech PRs get sold into a lot quicker. The time frames start to shrink. Golan, what's going on? GNPX plan there from yesterday, not to look for the short. Sure, if you nailed the top, you got. If you're shorting this morning strength, got a nice pullback to 250s, but if you overstayed or were looking for red, then you got squeezed out there into close. Didn't go much higher than $4. Family man, John F. How's it going, guys? So if you were able to withstand this squeeze, I think most people probably got popped. But all in all, I'm fairly happy with the decision not to look for the overextension trade on that. Now the close up here in the 350 range and now gapping down to 80s. So this will be its first time going red tomorrow. And now that it's up from 30 cents to $4, and you've got some decent volume here overhead. I need to see 240s act as a top and look to join trend versus $3. Pops into 3, exhaustion into it, and then confirm sub 240s for a fader back down to the mid ones. Go explore in the house. A few trades for me from today. SGMO was on Watchlist a little while ago for this daily chart for it to break and build over 1. And we got some trend and volume coming in off the PR in pre-market. So I waited for the open. This 125 was the daily chart breakout level. And we got a pullback, lower high, double bottom, and then a break of this lower high. A textbook entry setup for me. Roland trades these as like a gap and crap reversal. So this 120 I think leads to a high a day break in the 125s. So with a 121 entry risking 115, I get 6 cents of risk. And I waited for trend to fail, where you get this push, fail, and lower high. So I sold it right there, locked in 10 cents, basically a 2-to-1. Perk back up to highs, so I put some on and risked versus here and gave back basically this gain. So it didn't amount to much. I was looking for a much bigger picture than just a 120 to 140 move. I was looking for like a 140, 150 build, a $2 move, like something that would actually be sustainable. But it's in the biotech space, looked like solid momentum and a daily chart that I'm familiar with, but just didn't work. So moved on that one. IONQ, a concept I have touched on recently with comments based on the nuclear sector and the quantum sector. Why I'm not looking to go long on these. And basically I'm saying if I was getting big enough pulls and consolidation, I don't mind getting long, but once they're just super extended, there's just no way I can just keep chasing strength. So something like IONQ today, this is just a, on a big picture trend, this is just a pullback into rising support. So I let it flush out and bought some on the higher low. Cut under low a day, and I was just one low a day short, or one low a day too early before the basically $1.50 bounce. So right idea, wrong timing, but this is the kind of setup that I look for on those big picture dailies to get long. If it's not extended enough for me to short, not consolidating enough for me to buy a breakout, then I look for dips along a bigger picture trend to join. So right idea, wrong timing, but that's the concept visually. What else did I trade today? JDZG, I tried that one small. We got a pullback sub 140 off the open and then a quick reclaim. So I bought the next pullback and it just didn't amount to much. So I sold that one through low a day and lost like 7 cents on that. And Bivy, I was looking for that daily pop back into daily resistance for a first red day. I was patient for the shove and shorted it upon the stuff move, let it put in its lower high, scaled through prior lows and move risk down. And once the low a day break didn't continue lower, I moved on and for small gains there for another 10 cents. So a lot of chop on my end, but DJT, I still have my position on here. Big picture wise, we had touched on this 3150s multi-day breakout. And the trend on something like this is prior bar lows has been acting as support the whole time. So when I'm looking to scale into these breakouts, I don't like to add until I can almost picture what the daily bar would look like if it broke that low a day candle, or if it broke that low a day level. So something like DJT, once it pushed up into 3350s, if you look at the daily, so think 3350s is right here at prior resistance, and I'm in from the mid to low 31s. So you get a push into prior resistance, and if this were to come all the way back and break back below $31, that daily candle would have a big top wick, an increased volume bar, and would start to be testing the prior day's range. It wouldn't be a bullish look. It would be fairly bearish, which was my reason for this ad, looking for dips to scale into that trade. So on this one, I'm risking like 29 bucks, super wide, big picture swing thesis. And then on this ad, I'm moving risk to low a day. And then I'm just not on desk the rest of the day. But any of these, I don't think it's good to catch this bottom. But once it sets that bottom and reclaims VWAP, I don't hate any of these dips over here, and moving risk up to 3260s. So if I get a weak open tomorrow, I don't hate a ad on any weak open. But it could be something like fun. That was that big breakout that we were looking for through 760s and $8. And now it's up in the 12s. Monster move. Strong close and then just gap and go. So we could get something like this. And then if DJT could start to speed up, then I'd be looking for a short trade in the coming days on something like fun, because now this is starting to extend itself up over 100% since its breakout move. So I will have that one on watch. Story of my life. One low too early. Yep. It happens to me more than I like to admit, but it is what it is. So yeah, DJT and fun continue to be main watches. Catalyst being running into the November election, and then I was seeing some talks of him going on Joe Rogan later this week on Friday, so people could be excited about that, especially DJT being a media company, and then him going and doing more press is a notable thesis. Should really talk about DJT in your other voice. I got long, DJT. It was a beautiful long. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. I took my huge hands and bought the bottom. It kept going up, higher, higher. Huge market cap, huge. It's gonna be fantastic. We got a crowd favorite. I dressed up as Trump for Halloween. It must have been his presidency, like the year he got elected. I dressed up as him. It'd take me a while to find the photo. I don't know if I... Man, where would it be? It'd be so far back. That was worth the wait. He's here till Thursday. Try the veal. So funny. But that turns out maybe I post that picture on Twitter if DJT goes to 40. What do we say? DJT to 40 would be a nice winner to post that picture on Twitter. Diamond hands. Any thoughts on the uranium stocks? Not really. I haven't looked at them much. Let me see here. I'm just gonna pull up uranium over on Finviz. Check out the charts. Like, I think UUU or UUUU was one of them. UEC sounds familiar. URG, yeah. Unless you've got any specifics, not really. Roy, I remember that one. Yeah, there's no range on any of these, at least the ones I'm looking at. They're just steady grind highs, but I think it's just, I've mentioned it before, where I think it's worth trying to find the broken slot machine, and where is your money best put at risk? Where does it yield the highest returns? And something like fun going from 6 to 13 in 2 days, I think is better than some uranium stock going from 120 to 140 in 2 days. Kind of how I look at those. Wow. Look at that. Just wash, 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 wash. Just tossing shares back and forth, creating the impression of liquidity. That's insane. LTBR, that one was a watch from yesterday. I didn't end up trading it. Meh. Would have had to have pretty wide risk on something like that. Yeah, see. I don't mind avoiding this again. Like, you get a 2-minute spike, lower highs, you're leaning in, versus high a day, you get swipes back, it kind of freak you out. Low a day pulls, and then a steady grind back, 10:30 a.m. plus, back into high a day. And then the range is pretty limited throughout the day until the last hour. Like, meh. Don't really care about it. Pike GNPX, short today, tiny NSC, short wrong. Yeah, that GNPX, my thoughts from yesterday still stood, and I wasn't super interested in the short. You got $1.50 a range there off the open, but if you stuck around looking for like a red move, like I would have been, when it gaps up, usually goal is a green to red test. Would have been a monster trade, but there's no support once it's below 240 until 180s. So I don't know. I didn't touch it either today, but tomorrow is more of interest to me. If today's shorts are underwater, if it continues to build over 240s, then I think it could still go higher. Everybody's fighting it. ENSC is something I have no idea how to trade, and I am not afraid to admit it. But it's another cheapy biotech that starts going and catches a bunch of others. Which ones? There was a few that went after hours. FAMI, MBIO, bunch of other cheapies that are just everyone's chasing with the biotechs, but no real interest for me. Yes, Q, I would tend to agree. He said DJT and fun. He hopes they continue extending and gap up. Especially considering I still have DJT long. I'd love to see this thing gapping up like crazy. And fun is looking good for a short trade. And if DJT can run and then fun can actually follow it a bit closer, then it's looking pretty good. But ideally we get that Thursday, Friday trade I was looking for. Wouldn't be upset with that. But if this can hold up tomorrow and then gap into Thursday or gap into Friday, I like that a lot better for a short trade given the options with it. I kind of wish I got long a bit on fun. Like it was, what day was it? No, it was this day. I was one day early on that sizable long. Ended up going this day. Too bad. I remember back in 21, there were some traders that took big hits while others had career trades. I think the short bear took a 1.5. Well, Ducks made over 6 mil on DWAC. Back when DJT was DWAC with Fun and Mark and all that. Yeah, you had Mark, which is now OTC, and Fun way back when. Right back here. I remember this thing was halting, and then it opened up at like, what was it, like $16 or something out of a halt. And I had some friends that were short their whole account and were caught into that gap up. And a lot of them blew out into it. One of them made it out and just held and hoped any higher he would have blown his account. But I do remember he ended up making good money on it, but it was he was short and held all the way through the squeeze and then covered when it pulled back. But, yeah. Traders don't remember that stuff. Traders got short-term memory. They don't remember from 3 years ago, but so let's get into some plans for tomorrow. DJT and Fun, I'm hoping higher the better. Any parabolics on DJT, I'm looking to lock in, ideally like a 40 to 50 move. Fun, sympathy to DJT, but those will be main watches going into the end of the week. Fish, going from the 1s up to the 10s, 2 days of pullback, and the volume overhead is quite a ways away, back up towards 4. So I will be looking for dips to hold versus prior day's lows and join an opening range high at daybreak. Bivy, I need to wait for more information on this. It came back and bounced a bit more than I was expecting. JDZG, technically this hasn't gone green in 3 days, so I still feel like I should be trying this off of 1. I might give it one more try tomorrow. After 3 days, the odds on these things bouncing drastically drops. So tomorrow would likely be the last day that I try something like that. Ideally, get a red to green trigger. GRI, multi-day run, had its first red day today, so I'd be hoping for some more pullback lower. And possible backside bounce would be the next trade on something like this, but I need to see it pull back for another day. LTBR, this daily is that same kind of thing as IONQ. Big picture wise, this daily is still on the front side. Yes, it's had its pullback. If I can get a gap down and panic towards the looking left breakout level, I'd see that as dips along rising support. Sub 7, I could see this being warranted for a short. Join a 7 fade and then look to flip bias for a quick scalp bounce. GNPX, I think 240 is that key level, using today's lows as a guide. If it breaks and builds below 240s, if red green acts as a top, then I think that this could pull back over the next couple days. But my bias, big picture, ideally it holds up and just keeps going. I'd like to see this hold green tomorrow off a gap and go something crazy. Q could need some more patience on something like this. It hasn't broken below 140s. Prior resistance is holding as support. Volume is still there. It's still tradable, just fairly light trading wise, but if it wants to hold up in this range and then break out of the 160s, you could get a retest of 180 for that push to 2. So I'm not going to take it off radar. It's still holding up nicely and consolidating. It still looks strong. IONQ, no real plan. It kind of reset itself today, so need more sideways for a breakout, more pullback for a bounce, or wait for a few days for more extension. SGMO, I likely take this off radar now that it closed below the breakout level. Today it should have gone. Even once it failed here, it should have reclaimed VWAP. So I don't really know if I want to try this again after seeing it fail. And then NDRA. NDRA, quite the run today, and then held sideways. So decent daily bar there, up from 20 cents. And ran into the 60s. So hoping that this thing can put in a multi-day run. This would be a nice A+ short if it could keep going for another day or two. And then probably just keep an eye on the low price gappers. Like I say, usually that's kind of the last hurrah for a sector when the cheapies start going. So yeah. But that's about it for me. Those are the watches in tomorrow. Bit of a review. And that's about it. I'm giving news one more day, day 4, since it's holding out. Yeah, that one kind of broke down, that this 150 support, so I ended up taking it off radar. I'd set price alerts up there in the 220s and then just not watch it. I'll set my price alert right now so I don't forget. I didn't set it yet, but I knew that I wanted to. 220. Set it and forget it. PRQR just put out a public offering right now. 75 mil underwritten public offering. and private placement just got priced. $18 million shares priced at $350. And then a 30-day option for 2.7 million additional shares. So a $350 price on most of it. It's right at market and up a lot higher than where it was trading. So not all offerings are created equal. It doesn't really look that bad. But through that news price alert, good enough. GG's, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by, Louie. Go explore. Thanks for your stock reviews tonight. No problem. No problem. So I think we will probably wrap it up there. Call it good. I don't mind having an extra hour to my evening. I'm getting tired. Running 100 miles an hour. Renovating my mom's place on the weekends. Working crazy hours during the week. Trading. Watch lists. This kind of stuff. It's starting to catch up. So I don't mind an early bedtime tonight and just kind of relax a little bit early. Be well rested for tomorrow. But alrighty, we'll wrap it up there. As always, get in where you fit in. Make some memories, and I'll see you guys in the room. Peace.